Greetings, JT Smith, back to you for another quick tutorial. In today's tutorial we are going to be talking about identifying things to retouch in an image. I thought it'd be nice if my Patreon people would send in and submit images that I can go over, and that way we can kind of, what I see, what needs to be done. I think too many times we don't know what to retouch, or we retouch too much. One or the other. It seems like, you know, there's a fine line in there as far as identifying what to retouch, what to take out, and what to blend and things like that. So I think a lot of times we don't know what to touch. So without further ado, I'm going to get going here. Let me just kind of transfer the image over. This was photographed at Cincinnati Super Shoots workshop we did there at Studio 58 LLC about 3 years ago, I do believe. And so this is a model, and I don't know the model's name, but obviously it's a model. But anyway, we had like a V flat, and then we had down over here we had some like that reflective flooring, 4x8 sheet of reflective flooring we put down. Then I think we had this chair as a prop, and anyway, this lovely young model come in to pose with her, and I'm sorry I forgot her name, and I wish I knew her name because it seems like I remember her. But anyway, the very first thing that I did was I just went up here and I just kind of leveled everything down and just kind of toned the image to my liking. It was a little bright, so I just kind of went in through there and just made some adjustments and curves, and then just a little soft color balance touch there. And so once I had that done, then I kind of gone in and started identifying some problems here with the background. Now, one of the things that I did notice right off the bat is we have some sensor smudge marks here. That's not part of the background. What happens in this kind of situation is like a dust will get on a sensor, and then when you take the camera in and out of humidity or things like that, the moisture builds around that dust speck, and it kind of creates these little spots here. So what I did was I kind of like, you know, taking care of that along with the line that's kind of created, you know, that from the flat and the V flat and the you know, this little shiny 4x8 sheet of board that we put down here. So a lot of times when you're working with V flats and things like that on a floor, you don't get that seamless flow, but it's really easy to retouch. And so you just kind of go in and let me just create another layer here and call it Retouch 2, and then that way I can kind of go in and kind of show you and kind of identify some areas here, but I don't want to go through the whole retouching phase. I think that'll be too long for this quick tutorial. So we're just going to go in down and dirty with the patch tool. We're just going to take care of some of these sensor marks that I seen, some of the scuff marks from high heels on that shiny little floor, little 4x8 sheet. Obviously we're going to take care of the line there from the V flat, and as you can see, I just kind of go down and dirty with the patch tool, cleaning up this dirty background. I actually couldn't believe how dirty the background actually was. But anyway, no problem. We can take care of it. The sensor marks with the patch tool is really easy to take care of. A lot of junk up back over in here. We're just going to take the patch tool and just go to town with it. And so as you can see, you can kind of clean this up in no time. But kind of pay attention to your background and just kind of work with it how you see fit. And then when you get into an area like this, you can just go in with the tool and just kind of mask it out here. Like that, and just do that, and then use the rubber stamp, like I said, and just kind of go in here and just kind of paint that back, and just handle those things like that. So I'm not going to bore you to death with that. I think we've identified a lot of the smudge marks, but do go around and, you know, kind of look at everything, and you can clean the background up really fast, and just like that, you can just go to town with the patch tool. White's real easy. It's kind of photographed in medium gray, so you know, it's just real easy to go in with the patch tool and kind of clean that up. And then when you get to more integral parts, you just go in and mask that out, and then just go to town with it. But anyway, so we identified that. So we've identified the, you know, the background there, and then I can just kind of like go back and forth and kind of show you all the parts that, you know, we cleaned up in my little retouch layer here. So we handled that nicely. Now let's move up to her face, and let's try to identify some areas up here that we're going to handle. The very first thing that I noticed on this image was the hot spot right here on her forehead. Now we have some acne problems, but we can easily take care of that. And then another thing that I noticed was this kind of a Rudolph shiny nose right here thing going on here. So I just immediately took care of that with the patch tool. I just come down in here with the patch tool and just say, hey, I'm just going to blend that in, and just took care of that, just like that. And so, you know, that's just something quick, down and dirty that you can do, and just go in there and take care of that. So the patch tool, especially now with Photoshop 2020, it's just really, really nice with the patch tool. It just has this AI feature to it that just really blends everything nicely, and I really like working with it. But now the shiny forehead here. Now there's several ways that we can take care of this. We can go in with a rubber stamp. We can do 25% and match, you know, a darker area over here and start blending. But another thing that we can do is we can basically dodge and burn with a paintbrush. So if we just identify an area, a little darker area than the shiny part right over in here, and get that as our base color, then go up here to our brush. Very low opacity. I have mine set at like 19%, and my flows at 35%. But we can just kind of go in here and just kind of paint with the paintbrush here. We're not really doing too much damage, not really doing too much skin smoothing. Just kind of go in here and just kind of dodge and burn that way. As you can see, I totally cut down that shine right there just by doing that. And so obviously I'd want to go up and clean the acne first, which I have done. So if I just take a look at that, you can see my real edit here is you know, totally taking care of that that little hot spot there. But remember, identifying that nose right there, that's something to take care of. And then you know, so it's just turned out to be you know, really nice as far as cutting down that forehead. So that's really the major problem with this image. Not really a problem, but that was, the thing that just stuck out with me right off the bat was this honking nose shine right here, and then the forehead right up here is really shiny. And then we, of course, you know, the really only acne problems that we have here is right here in her forehead. Now I did notice this little scar right here, and so in portraiture you might want to check with your client first to make sure that's not, you know, the permanent scar is not part of her, not part of the subject, and then go from there. Because generally, like, if anything's permanent, I'll kind of leave. But that's kind of a rule I leave to the beauty mark. Now I did go ahead and retouch this beauty mark right here. As I toggle that back and forth, and I did go ahead and take care of that. Now this is a real easy fix here with this little scar, because all I did was just gone with the patch tool and then just gone in here and identified that area, and then let me see, let me get on the right area here and just retouch that right there like that. So boom, it's gone. And so we just taking care of it like that. But that's something that we identified right off the bat. There's really not a whole lot else to work with in this particular image, I don't think. I think we have a young model, which helps. So you don't need to go in and make your skin plastic at all, because I think her complexion is fine. We just have a little bit of, you know, acne up there that we've taken care of. I did go in and I sculpted the nose, okay? I remember I just created a little highlight here, just darken the edges down just a little bit, and I did that tutorial a couple weeks ago. You know, and so it's that information there. So if you missed that, check that out, because, you know, highlighting and sculpting the nose is very, very important, especially in glamour and beauty work. But anyway, so that's what I did there. And so I hope you like that. I also too, I brightened up the eyes just a little bit. I went in here and just dodged them, as you can see, as I bounced that back and forth. So I made her eyes pop just a little bit more there. Other than that, I really didn't do a whole lot of retouching on her face. Now, with that, then you pull back out and kind of look at the overall image, and I start noticing that right here her clothing has a little bulge over here. I don't think she has a growth there, so I can liquefy that area. These little jagged areas to her shorts and to her shirt here and everything, we're just taking care of that with a liquefy tool. And I just gone in there and I just worked the liquefy tool and smudged that back in just a little bit. And so that's about the only thing we did with the liquefy tool there. So hey, I hope this helps. I hope I didn't go too fast. I didn't want this tutorial to be extremely long. Hans, thank you for submitting the image. It's very appreciative that I gotta go over, and I appreciate you letting me look at your image, and it's a fine shot from the Cincinnati workshop, and I hope others can benefit you know, by just what I did there, by just what to identify, go into it and attack it. So and listen, Hans, if you haven't cleaned that sensor yet, which I think you have, go ahead and take care of that ASAP, because there was like 3 or 4 marks down there, you know, on the bottom there that was a little issue there. That I hopefully by now it's all cleaned up and ready to go. But anyway, if there was one other thing that I would do to this image, I would probably maybe liquefy this leg area right here and just kind of bounce that up just a little bit. The way she's setting kind of puts pressure against that back hamstring there, and then just kind of makes that what I call the catfish belly look. So if I really wanted to go into it, I'd kind of smooth that out just a little bit. I'm not trying to make her skinny. I'm not trying to do anything there. All I'm trying to do is just kind of, you know, clean that up a little bit, because the way she's posing in that chair, that kind of sags down a little bit. And I think this model is way too, you know, way too, well, I don't know, politically correct, but I don't want to say way too skinny, because that's not true either, but you know what I'm getting at. The model is way too fit, if you will, to have any sort of irregularities down here where it makes this leg and thigh area kind of thick, and we don't really need to do that. So I could look at that and take care of that if I wanted to, but just something else that I noticed, that you could take care of it if you wanted to, you could leave it if you wanted to, it's up to you. But that's one other thing that, you know, I did identify in this particular image. Other than that, I think we've taken care of this image the way it needs to be. I don't think we need to do anything anything more. As I bounce back and forth on the background here, as far as, you know, kind of cleaning that up. And like I said, most of that was done with the patch tool. We've gone up here, we've liquefied the fabric up here, and then of course we've gone up here into her face and just identified the hot spot up here. Let me take the liquefy off so we can kind of bounce back and forth. We sculpted the nose, just did a light sculpting there, and so that's it. Okay, well, hey, listen, I hope this helped. I hope this benefited you in some way. Sometimes, like I said, we don't really know exactly what to do sometimes, but I hope this image, as far as just kind of identifying an image out of the blue and kind of going over that, I plan on doing more. Another image was submitted and we'll do that, but hopefully this came across nicely, and until next time, take care.